I think you've had that moment where you've realised, but a lot of Australians out there aren't realising that retiring on their super, what they have, the amount that they have in their super, is not going to be sufficient for retirement. And it's
Nearly everyone's like that.
Yeah. So you know, with yourself, you've realised that there's your light bulb moment, and then you've put the actions in place to make it happen. Thankfully, you knew me, and we got to work together.
I think everyone should be looking at it. I mean, I don't know why more people don't. I mean, the government, and we might cover this off, there's a lot of red tape. There's a friggin' lot of red tape, and honestly, if I didn't know the benefits were going to be worth it, I could have fallen off, because there's so much paperwork. It's so much longer to get anything done. Yeah. It's almost like the government does everything they can to make you not purchase the property, but now it's done. It's all good, right? It's just you got to do that bit of hard work up front, but then, the benefits far outweigh it. But that was something I wasn't really appreciative of, was how much, because we got one other investment property. Yeah. It's just a lot more work up front to get it done. But once it's done, you're good to go.
It is. So obviously you went to your accountant, you got the SMSF set up.
Got that set up. That took a little accountants
while.
Alike. It just drags and drags and drags. So we got that all finally set up. And then obviously the mortgage, getting a loan, getting an SMSF loan, it's a total different thing. The big banks don't do it. You got to go through these second tier, third tier banks. It's just they overload you with paperwork. They're super slow to get back to you. Everything just drags, and you just got to be onto them. So you need a really good mortgage broker who's done SMSF before. I wouldn't even start the journey. Well, we did start the journey with someone who didn't, and it came out that they didn't have the skills. They weren't quick enough. They weren't responsive enough, because you need to be as quick as you can, because deals go quickly, right? So if your broker is just slightly off, you're going to miss the deals, and it's just going to drag the whole thing out. Yeah. Longer and longer.
Good deals go super quick. I always use the trading post analogy from back in the day. I always use that, because as soon as you open that trading post on a Thursday and you have a look for cars or whatever you're looking for, the best things you call up for are sold immediately. And the same goes for houses. And you'd think that $700,000 purchase, no one's going to buy it within the hour, but you'd be wrong.
Well, the other thing as well with buying a property through SMSF, you need to have a contract, right? So you need to have a buyer's agent that has a good relationship with the agent to be able to hold the property while you go through the rigmarole of getting your finance to go unconditional, or to 100%. Get your final approval.
And you need a buyer's agent to actually ask that said agent for multiple extensions, because we happen to make a mistake and use a broker that wasn't, across it properly. But I think we went through extension
3
after
weeks.
extension.
I think it was 3 weeks in the end from
3 weeks.
Agreeing on a price
and
actually getting the bank to sign off on all the paperwork. And that was as quick as we could do. We could have done it probably in 2.5 weeks if we had the right broker around the first time. But if you're trying to get off-market property where you need to move straight away and there's other cash buyers out there, that's the tricky thing with SMSF, is you need to be able to hold that property for 2 weeks while you get your ducks in a line, because they don't approve things unless you've got the contract. It's really annoying.
And I think that always comes back to having a good team. The good buyer's agent who has that relationship with the agent, because I got us a heap of extensions to make that happen. Then we had to switch to using our broker Jam, and then we finally got the deal done. And it's all about who you know and the team behind you that makes the process smooth. And I think a lot of people make that mistake about they just use a mortgage broker that we know. I know someone and so on. Or kind of like I was talking on the previous podcast with Martia about how we take property advice from people because they're friends or family and we trust them. Mm-hmm. But we don't look at the fact that they don't actually know what they're talking about in regards to the topic we're talking about, So, and the same goes for mortgage brokers. You need a good broker. And I think we sort of...
You need a broker who's super responsive, because brokers they're overworked and the squeaky wheels get the oil. You need a broker who's going to respond to you really quickly, and you need to be on their case. And they just need to have a lot of experience with SMSF. Otherwise, don't use them. That's one thing I've realised is brokers specialize in different things. Low doc for, those lower price points, SMSF. You've got to find the right broker for the right job, which is the buyer's agents. This is where these guys come in.
Yeah,
right?
but I was going to say the same with marketers. You need to find a good...
Absolutely.
There's so many marketers out there that are absolutely no good. So
that's true.
It's the same for whatever you're doing. You need to use the best in their field. And I think, everyone would shop heart surgeons and find the best one, right? You wouldn't want to trust a dodgy one. But yet we do that all the time when it comes to other services. And I think we need to be super careful, because if you want to avoid the headaches, especially when buying SMSF.
And you need a buyer's agent who understands it as well, because there's certain things you can buy in SMSF and certain things you can't. And then when you buy it, you can't do what you can do normally if you bought through your super in terms of developing it. So you need to make sure the buyer's agent's across all those ins and outs. Otherwise, you can get yourself in a world of pain.
There's a lot of rules around SMSF.